You guys are obviously in the same agreement that this working group needed to be established. So explain what that is and who's going to be a part of it.
So the county recognizes that it's having a hard time covering the gap between what we have and what we need to fund public safety. And so as an idea in regards to bridging that gap, where we established a committee to look at a public safety tax initiative to be put on the November ballot for public safety purposes. And so yesterday at our meeting, we approved that unanimously. And the idea is to develop now a committee comprised of 2 board members, our department heads in public safety, a couple citizens at large, and our labor representatives to try to put our heads together to see what we can come up with that would be acceptable to the public and that accomplishes the goals of increasing or at least being able to help maintain our current level of service as we move forward.
This is a half-cent tax?
That's kind of the idea at this point. Again, that needs to be fleshed out. I know that there's a threshold in regards to what's palatable to the public and what would be worth the effort to put in to try to do this this endeavor. So half cent is just kind of where we kind of settle starting as a starting point. It could go down from there, but I don't think it'll go up because I don't believe that there's anybody in the region that has that more than the half cent sales tax, and that's pretty common. Throughout our area, there are some municipalities that already have public safety taxes assessments that are about a half cent.
And just as a clarification for me, half-cent tax need obviously to pass. It would need to be 2/3 of the county.
2 ways of doing it. We could do it as general tax, which is generally easier. You get a majority vote. However, the concern there is that money then is attached to the general fund. A lot of people don't like that idea and would rather actually go for the special tax, which is a 2/3 majority. And specialized tax to where it is dedicated for a certain purpose and can't be touched by the board later on. And I think that's probably the direction we go. Just hearing some of the feedback from the public, some of our most staunch conservatives are even that wouldn't typically be for tax would consider one that had a specific direction towards public safety that the board couldn't touch.
Yeah, and elaborate on that for me when you talk about. And I was reading the Red Bluff article. You kind of crunched the numbers. This is all just beginning, so I understand that it's a lot of, nothing's set in stone. Of course, you're still throwing stuff out there. You calculated to potentially get over $1 million from the tax. Is that obviously a year?
Yeah, I asked our auditor just for kind of a general idea what that would look like, and her preliminary findings were approximately $1.1 million per year, which of course isn't going to solve our long-term problems, but what it does is it gives us the ability, and the way we use this in other locations. I mean, the Red Bluff is here where I'm most familiar. Is that things come up throughout the fiscal year. Hey, we got this new software, or we need some new equipment, or these things come up. And that's what really where these funds are most appreciated by the department heads, because as these things come up, they can go to, in this case, we'll have an oversight commission is what we believe, and to have then how those funds will be allocated towards both law enforcement and our fire service here in the county.
And those are the 2 targets that I was going to ask.
Yes. Yes, and a lot of people just think public safety is the sheriff's office, is law enforcement. However, our volunteer fire department here is grossly underfunded. In fact, it looks like their anticipated budget's going to increase for over $1 million this year. They do it a lot with volunteers. However, they're running some very old equipment. The fire chief said yesterday that one of the pieces of apparatus that he has on the road still today is 47 years old, and that's something that we need to replace. And those things are expensive, and so it's nice to be able to have some sort of fund to be able to hit those items when they become available.
But what is your, let's say, elevator pitch to people and why this would benefit? Why a tax in this scenario is a good thing?
Tax in this scenario is a good thing because it impacts everybody that crosses through our county. The traveler that happens to stop at a gas station and pick up a tank of gas and a bag of chips pays for the services that they may need while passing through Red Bluff. It also hits some of our other populations that don't pay income tax and whenever they spend money. And it's also, the other thing they're working on is economic development in the county as another means of bringing more revenue into the county. So as we bring more revenue into the county, it also impacts their ability to fund these essential services even more. And to the sheriff's point yesterday is that's a difficult scenario because you've got to have a safe place for economic development to occur. And so we're kind of on this precipice right now to where we need to ensure that while we're still working on the economic development component, it kind of, again, bridges that gap. And if this doesn't work, and the problem is that the cost of services is going up exponentially a lot faster. As soon as the governor starts raising the minimum wage and our salaries start compacting and start going up, and the cost of equipment, the fire chief said yesterday that a typical kit for a firefighter is $5,000 a piece, for his volunteers. When this price of equipment goes up quicker than the county can keep up, then we have problems. And I think what we'll see, if we can't make things work out in this fashion with both the economic development and the public safety assessment, then we're going to be looking at cuts to maybe other services that other people in the county still enjoy in order to make sure that our priority is still public safety.
Whose idea was it to kind of, who started this conversation about a tax?
Well, this is not a new concept for the
Right.
county. It's been tried before and failed. Again, I think mostly because of where the money was going to go and how that was going to occur.
How is it different than, sorry, now I'm going to pivot real quick.
Okay.
Sorry. How is this proposed tax initiative different than the one that failed, I think, about a decade ago?
Well,
Is it the same
again,
idea?
the other pitch to this is that they're already paying this tax in Red Bluff and Corning. So the only entity that's not benefiting from what's going on is the county of Tehama right now, and that affects the sheriff's department directly, the DA's office, and our county fire department. So really, a lot of people are already paying this tax, though they may not realize it. And as far as the timing goes, this is something, again, I think it's because of our current financial issues with the state and things getting more expensive and not being able to keep up, that we all look at the sheriff's office as, I need more resources for to bump up my corrections officers. They're getting stolen by Shasta County. Well, you don't have the resources. When we get down to the bottom of the bucket, it is kind of the impetus for driving this tax measure forward at this point in time. And I think that, based on the 1 year that I've been here, we are at the bottom of the bucket. And the only way that we're going to fix this problem is to bring a little more into the bucket, or we're going to have to start cutting some things out of our county operations to fund these essential services. And that's something that we really don't want to do at this point in time. But it's the next step if this thing doesn't pass.
These are difficult to have pass. You would like to obviously get it so it could be on November's ballot. How confident are you, very early, the very beginning point of this, but how confident are you, Matt, that this could actually be something that people would vote for?
Well, again, it comes down to public trust, and there's not a lot of that in government right now. And as a tax-paying citizen, I'm always skeptical when I see something on the ballot that's going to cost me more money, and where is that money going to go? I think we really need to do a good job of building that trust with the community. I think we have it currently with the way we do business. I think the county just really needs to take it to the next step and trust that if they give us the money, that we'll put it in the right place. And they have my commitment to that right now, but I'm not going to be here forever. And I think that's the reason we probably need to go down the road of the specialized tax, so that it's definitely written in stone. And so when I'm gone, the good efforts will continue. We have a lot of momentum with our department heads. Everybody's behind it and supportive. They know where we're at based upon their own budgets and how the county has had to make some cuts in this last year. And with the state budget being the way it is moving forward, it's predictable that things are going to get tighter. So I think that in this presidential election coming up, it's a good time to showcase this and get it out there. Hopefully there won't be a whole lot of distraction from other things going on, but I think we'll be able to put our best foot forward. And if it's the will of the people, it'll happen. And if it's not, then the people need to know that there'll have to be cuts in other areas.